Here we are with another Schmolke Investment Team post-practice report. One of our last two, Thursday before the spring game, the National L Cup spring game on Saturday, and it looked like they were probably doing a little walkthrough stuff, some basic stuff before they really get after it on Saturday. John Emery back at practice today. I think it was one of the big notes. Anything else that you pick up, Buddy Songy?
Well, happy Thursday to everybody. We've enjoyed doing these reports. Appreciate Schmolke and all of the great sponsors we've had this football season. Appreciate all the loyalty and passing the word on for these reports. And yeah, I watched John Emery very closely at the beginning, and he caught a ball and exerted a little bit, and I heard him go, ah! So, look, you heard me kind of go and blow a gasket. There's no reason for this kid to play in the game. You worry about him going into the fall camp. Ankles are kind of funny, as we know. If you have a high one, no telling how long. But look, he was out there. He wants to play, wants to practice. I'm sure Coach Kelly will get asked later on, what are the advantages of him playing in the spring game Saturday? And I can't find many of them right now, Mike.
No. And again, I watched a little bit of Alabama's A-Day from last weekend, Arkansas, smidgen of Ole Miss. I got a bunch of them set to record on the DVR. And they're all look to be a lot of going through the motions and doing the obligation. But I'm wondering if something we might be surprised on Saturday with maybe the format that Coach Kelly has to do, because he doesn't have a full roster, then maybe it might be a lot more beneficial than we think. But of course, we're going to get Brian Kelly tonight after practice, and then we'll get him again on Saturday after the spring game, offense, defense. But I wonder if tonight he's going to let us know how the quarterback's going to be used, what the rotation is going to be, how the reps are going to be divvied up, and how many offensive plays does he expect to get off in the game, and running clock, how long's halftime. I think it was Alabama's. They cut their halftime in half. They got it over and done with. So I don't know how much Brian Kelly is going to be obliged to adhere to any particular numbers and so forth on Saturday.
Well, and also how much of the live kicking game. We've talked about the two place kickers. They've struggled from the time that we've seen them. Maybe they'll have the light come on and make some field goals. Obviously, you want to make all the PATs. Obviously, we've already mentioned the punter from Notre Dame's got a great chance to come in here and start. Peyton Todd's got to get his mechanics and confidence. We know that it's hard to simulate special teams in a game, so I don't know what they'll be doing with punts and kickoffs and all of that. He will also explain the scoring. 3 and out generally in a spring game gets the defense 2 points. Now, if you get a pick six, that's 6 points. So there's going to be ways to determine what the defense, but you can tell Coach Kelly is not enamored with what he's got to do in this spring game. By the way, baseball moved up an hour to 12, so you can get a little bit of LSU at the box for 12, see the spring game. Come back to baseball. As we know, they've lasted 3+ hours this year with Jay Johnson, but it ought to be a great Saturday for the LSU Tiger fan base.
I don't know if you're hearing it on the microphone, but the wind just started blowing crazy. Of course, we're recording this not soon after we were let out of practice. We're not allowed to post these until after practice is complete. And then, of course, by the time we get this up, LSU will probably be a couple innings in to their first game with Missouri. So, but this it's an analysis report, and each and every one of them this entire spring, we want to thank the Schmolke Investment Team for sponsoring each and every one of these. Over 45 years of combined experience in handling their clients' financial needs. And this financial environment experience does matter. Call Bart or Brian Schmolke at 318-448-3201, 318-448-3201. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA/SIPC, based in Alexandria. Of course, Bart, I've known him for 20 years. Absolutely one of the best people in the business, LSU grad, and whatever your needs are in the financial realm, him or Brian Schmolke are the guys to talk to, no matter where you are in the state of Louisiana. And also tune into him on Mondays on Tiger Talk in Alexandria, 96.5 KZMZ. They're on from 4 to 6. I'm usually on from 5:45 to 6, and we talk LSU football every Monday.
Little tidbit for you coming out to the spring game: get you a paper roster or whatever you have. There are going to be some numbers and walk-ons that are going to have to play. 53's the backup left tackle. You've got 12, you've got 94, you've got all these numbers that are on walk-ons. They're a big part of this spring. They help get the reps in. And obviously, as we know, with 7 banks coming in, you got 2 more spots, and then you got the recruits coming in. This team is not going to look like anything with close to finished product that you'll see first weekend in September in the Superdome against Florida State. But I got to tell you, I'm still impressed. You know, I don't want to quote Dick Vitale because he's hated around here for the last 5 years of his behavior. But the airport team, man, I like the way that LSU defense looks when they run into the stadium. 11, 0, 99, and 8 across the front line.
92.
He's coming on, but 19 and 30, your 2 backers, and of course the nickel, Mekhi Garner. I'm still looking at him. Mike, he's one of the biggest cornerbacks LSU's had since Patrick Peterson at 215. Darius McGee's done a good job as a backup corner, but you know that that's going to be a weak spot. And then the 3-headed monster in the secondary, Jay Ward. I think we hadn't talked enough about him. And then the 2 compadres from Arkansas, Brooks and Joe Fouché. Really impressive with that first unit. And Mike, I saw a lot of footwork and short passing with the quarterbacks. This is now when you're just going through the mechanics, going over the plays and the routes that they're going to use, not hitting anybody today, and not that anybody was laboring, but you could tell it wasn't a full-fledged 100% practice because they got to save those legs for Saturday afternoon.
I shot a lot of video today. I think I got a good bit of linebackers, defensive linemen, defensive backs, quarterbacks on the other side of the field, but I did get some of them when they were closer to us. A lot of hitting running backs out in the flat, and then they went to the next field over, and we're doing a lot of the footwork drills where they've got a dummy laying on the ground and they're straddling it and going left and right, and then one of the GAs points to which direction they're supposed to throw it. But I'm going to be real interested to see how the reps are divvied up on Saturday. I don't know that you're going to be able to draw any conclusions from that. But, you know, you're getting up to, as we talked about on last night's show, that May 1 deadline, and, you know, there's going to be some players, and not just the quarterback spot, they're probably going to be making decisions on what to do. And, of course, we know Brian Kelly and his staff are watching the portal and probably have a plan with the 2 remaining spots that they have.
Yeah, by the way, people have been asking about Sage Ryan. He is running second behind Brooks as the nickel, of course, and Derek Davis Jr. is also in the slot. Once again, got to have some depth at cornerback, so you're going to need the sheets to know who is going against who during the spring game. And here's the other thing that I think you have to balance. You want to see full contact. You want to see who plays under the lights at Tiger Stadium, but you don't want to beat up your own team. So it is, when you're smart, you know how to get enough contact in to get a pulse, but don't injure anybody, and that's why I think it's just senseless to put John Emery out there. We know he wants to show the fans this is his year and this is his job to lose, but I want to see it in August, Mike, not back into April.
Well, you know, early in the week, Corey Connor hit the portal, so we've seen some flashes from Armani Goodwin, so I really want to see him on Saturday. I really want to get a good look at linebackers. I feel like throughout the entire spring camp, I haven't really watched them near enough, hardly at all. And but you know, look, with it streaming on SEC Plus,
yeah.
And then if you want a hard copy, I want to say it's next Wednesday night, 7 or 8 o'clock. Check your listing, and so I got my DVR already set for that, so you can really hone in on different things. But it's going to be a very interesting spring game. If you really enjoy these reports, do us a favor, hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the subscription button on our YouTube channel and that notification bell. So we've got this video you're watching right here, and immediately while this is being uploaded, Brian Kelly's video post-practice tonight on Thursday night, second to last scheduled date of spring. That'll be up. We get him again on Saturday after the spring game, and then we'll get 4 additional players. Tuesday night we had 7. It was unbelievable. All those interviews were fantastic. You can also see those on the channel. Big recruiting weekend, 2 official visitors, a lot of unofficial visitors. I've got an ongoing thread that I updated this morning. More guys telling me they're coming in for visits, and I've got more coming, guys that are waiting for replies back, and as well as notes of guys saying why they haven't come, but when they're coming. Mac Markway scheduled his official visit for middle of June. So that's going to be an interesting weekend when he comes in for his official visit, because that looks like also a weekend date where there's usually an LSU football camp. So I need to go check the camp dates to see if there's a correlation there. If guys are going to be taking official visits, and they're also participating in camp. That's something we've never really seen before.
You asked about the linebackers. Obviously, everybody's been talking about Mike Jones Jr. and Greg Penn III. Wes Weeks, number 33, Colby Fields is back. Remember, he got dinged a little bit. Of course, Micah Baskerville has been in and out at that, so you're going to have some new numbers there. I like to have a little fun and make some predictions. I might be crazy, but I got a crazy feeling that Trey Bradford's going to get in the end zone on Saturday. Number 26, can run like the devil, has all the speed, about 200 now. If you don't see Emery, you're going to see Armani Goodwin. You're going to see Josh Williams. You're going to see Trey Bradford. You're going to see Corin Norman, number 23, a walk-on. You're going to see some corners that are walk-ons in other places. But we had this discussion, and we asked you and me and other media people, and we've come to the conclusion probably the offensive surprise player of the spring to me and you, Will Campbell at 66. And the defense, you can pick a lot of guys, but Mike Jones Jr., the fact that he's going to play on special teams, hope that guy maxes out. He's been a great interview, and I've been accommodating to many people, and you're going to have your own favorite, but it will be a lot of fun, although nothing but vanilla ice cream served in the concessions.
Tell me this. Receiver with most receptions. I'm going with Malik Neighbors.
You know, Neighbors is going to have a breakout. Look, Jack Besh, how much does he play? He was dinged earlier. Obviously, Chris Hilton has been banged up a little bit. Brian Thomas Jr., he could have a chance to catch a fade in the back end of the end zone. I'll wait to see you asking questions about quarterback rotation. Is it ones, twos, twos, ones, and then ones, ones? That's generally what they do. Mike will have an update with that after Coach Kelly. And so I think people need to remember.
He might not tell us. He might say we haven't decided yet, and then we find out when it actually happens.
Well, I was just going to say.
Nothing wrong with that.
But when you go back over here and you see Tiger Stadium, how exciting has it to be for Brian Kelly to be able to host the home football games there? And here's the question for the fans out there. Are they going to be all in and make that place intimidating again? Or is it going to be like Missouri? Oh, that's who they're playing.
Well, it's like Brian Lazar's column today talking about, what is it, LSU's lost 7 of their last 9 home series in Alex Box. Is that a crazy stat?
But is it going to be a show-me crowd? You're going to have patience. He's building it. It's going to take time. But you've got a professional back in here. And we think that better days ahead for the LSU football team.
All right, guys, go to Tiger Bait, subscribe. We're going to be loading you up with recruiting stuff. My video package, that's one of the highlights of being a Tiger Bait subscriber is the quality of our practice video. I'll stack it up against anybody's, and I'm telling you, we've had multiple packages this spring that went over 20 minutes. I mean, I loaded up. I'm telling you, some of them, the file, once I get it all put together, you're talking about some of those files are 15, 16 gigs. You can swing it over to your TV in full HD, and it looks like it was shot from Hollywood. So, all right, guys, see you on the other side. Go subscribe to Tiger Bait. We've got a lot more coming your way. Thanks for tuning in.